Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on our live stream today. This is just something that we are testing out. So we're going to start straight away, even though it looks like currently we have no one watching us. But this is just something that we wanted to start. And Tracey will probably bring you back again, maybe in the future, if you're good enough for us. I'm Jake Morrison. I'm the Chief Executive here at Citizens Advice Wokingham. And we're going to talk a bit about our respective charities today. And I have Tracey Hedgecox here, who is...
I'm Operations Manager at Wokingham United Charities.
And Tracey will talk about her charity again as well in a moment. But today, we're not alone. We've got Tony with us. Nice, thank you for joining us. So today we're just going to trial out something that we think we're going to do with some of our other charity partners and others, where we just have a bit of an afternoon chat. So actually, Tracey, I think I've called it an afternoon chat with Wokingham United Charities, which is a good little reflection of our conversation today. But obviously there is a purpose to why we're doing this, which is about telling people about the charities in our borough and how we can help people and how you can get involved either as a recipient of that support or somebody that can sign up to help support us. We have Alexander here as well, who we both know is a trustee of one of our other funders as well. Okay, so Tracey, do you want to introduce Wokingham United Charities for us?
Yeah. Okay, so Wokingham United Charities are predominantly a grant funder. We also provide low-cost housing, but I'm not here to talk about that today. We have a substantial endowment fund, and for the last couple of years, we've been given grants to local charities to the sum of about £250,000 a year. That is currently under review because of the current circumstances, but we are keen to continue with it. And we're working on the strategy for what our grants program is going to look like moving forwards. The last 10 weeks or so has been predominantly about emergency grants for charities who are still providing frontline services during COVID-19 and individual grants. And we've had a lot of referrals from the Citizens Advice One Front Door for those.
And we're going to talk a bit about that, aren't we, as well, in a moment, which will be great. So I'm just going to introduce Citizens Advice. So we've been going for just over 43 years now, I think it is. Citizens Advice is a charity that's the national charity has been going for 80 years, but in Wokingham over 40 years now. We provide advice and information to people who live or work in the borough. And that can be on a wide range of things. So we're well known for areas like benefits, debt, housing, employment law, but we help with lots of other things as well. And that's partly why we've brought Tracey along today. And so we provide assessments to people as soon as they call us, and we try and understand what their issues are. And our team of absolutely fantastic volunteers, of which we have 87 at the moment, and they triage you and they provide that support. And it's like a two-stage process. So you'll have an assessment with someone who will just gather all the facts and try and understand what's going on. And then shortly afterwards, you'll have a full appointment with someone who'll provide more casework level support. But something we also do is refer people to lots of other charities. So as I said, we work with United Charities, we work with the Food Bank, we work with Age UK, we work with the Food Bank, we work with lots of other charities as well, Transform Housing. There's just loads that we refer on to make sure that people get as much support as they need. But Tracey, we've known each other now for a little while since you moved into your job, and I'd just moved in here about 6 months beforehand. And we thought you were already transforming our services and the work that we were doing, and coronavirus has clearly thrown us into a whole different direction. And we met the week before lockdown, didn't we, actually, to talk about what we thought was going to happen? And I'm sure we were very far off in that subway on Denmark Street. How have you responded to coronavirus in your charity?
We've had to completely change the way we work. We had processes that have been ticking along quite nicely. And then we realised with so many people working from home, that just didn't work anymore. There's no more, it seems obvious, no more face-to-face meetings. So we had to get the grants committee and the trustee board used to online meetings. And even down to the processes, we used to pay grants over to professional referrers, and they then arranged the purchase of whatever item it was the person needed, a new washing machine or whatever the requirement was. And that's just not been possible for most professional referrers who are working from home. They don't have access to their organisation's bank account. So we've actually almost turned into personal shoppers, and we're actually arranging the purchase of all these items in the delivery directly. But it's actually sped the process up. So in one particular case that you referred to us, the item was delivered within 24 hours of us receiving the request. And when someone is in desperate need of a cooker because they've got no facilities to cook, 24 hours is still a long wait. Previously, it could be 2-3 weeks. So as much as it's been hard work and challenging, it's a plus, it's a positive as far as I'm concerned.
How many people do you have at Wokingham United Charities? We
only have 3 staff, 2 full-time, 1 part-time. So we've been working very long hours to meet the demand. I mean, there's been a 400% increase in requests. I haven't been working 400% more, just faster.
Well, you processed a lot of them quicker, as you say, which is definitely important for people. So, yeah. So in terms of us, we have carried on our core service just as you've carried on your other part of your work as well as then adapting your funding type work. So we run the One Front Door for Wokingham Borough Council and for others, for the other charities. And basically we are a triage system for people. We've supported 2009 unique clients in the last 11 weeks. Now, last year we supported around 2,400 people in 12 months. And we've done all of this in 11 weeks. So it's been absolutely fantastic. And again, it's a huge credit to the resilience of our team and the organisation. And a huge thank you goes out to all of them. But we've been working flat out 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, 9 till 5. And we've been making sure that we can triage people, understand straight away what they need. So food bank referrals, food hub referrals, prescriptions, which have all been delivered by other charities, which I'm sure we'll have come on here soon and to talk to us. But we've been doing that, and Claire's going to come on in a moment, our operations manager, Tracey, so I won't steal much of her thunder, but there have been those scenarios, haven't they, as we said, because we've talked about some of them to just try and see if we could do stuff ASAP, where we've identified that someone needs food, and then through the triages, questioning of them and trying to understand their needs, they then haven't had any method of cooking that at all, a microwave or an oven or anything. So, or sometimes they haven't had fridges to store some of the fresh stuff in as well. So you've obviously just been a huge help for those individuals, and it's obviously seen in the paper yesterday that it's over £100,000 of.
Yeah, there's a question there from Tony about grants, the level of grants. I mean, I haven't got the split from the top of my head. The aim is still we have a reserve of 150,000 for an emergency situation. So we've drawn down 100 of that and spent that already. So the intention, and that's a combination of some small grants to charities, only very few for emergency funding for, it could be anything from to help someone with their rent just for a month. There's been a few cases like that, but predominantly it's been individual grants. I mean, the average grant is still, even though the demand has increased, the level hasn't. So the average individual grant is about £350. So it's a lot of grants we've been processing.
I'm just going to bring up Alexander and Lisa's comments as well, but let me bring Claire in. So Claire's our operations manager here up on the screen. I was just going to ask you to introduce yourself, but I've just done that. And I think actually she's froze. I'm going to take her off. I don't think she'll appreciate being left up there. Let's answer Alexander's question there. So Alexander says, Tracey, how have you managed to speed up the grants process, get the information to the grants panel, etc.?
I mean, I guess we're lucky in that our process is we have shared storage facility that's accessible remotely. So it's just, it's all the requests have been done by email. If there's any questions, then we can put together, because luckily all our trustees are at home currently, we can throw together an emergency meeting if it can't be resolved by email. So it's actually been relatively easy. I think charities tend to do things the way they've always done them. And this has actually forced us to think, actually, can we do this differently? I'm not claiming that I want to be a personal shopper for people for the rest of my days, but it's made me think, we could keep this system, but perhaps we could get some volunteers involved to help with the actual purchasing. Because previously Citizens Advice have been unable to refer people to us because they couldn't cope with the having to have the grant and then arrange the purchase. So,
but also it delayed it, didn't it? Which was the problem, because we'd have to check then that you've paid over. Let's just bring Lisa's comment, because it was obviously good to see some of the positive feedback. So Lisa says, I can't thank you enough at United Charities for the grants you've provided to support the families I work with, and the turnaround was very quick. And again, I think as in normal times, obviously that's hugely appreciative, but during this crisis, it's actually phenomenal.
It's essential. Yeah.
Let's answer. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Anna's asked the similar question. Yes, I mean, I do think we should carry on the process, and I'm looking at ways we can do that. I don't see any benefit in going back to the previous scenario.
Okay, let me see if I can bring Claire in. Claire, are you there? No, we're going to have to leave Claire, aren't we? Because Claire's completely frozen. So unfortunately, we'll have to leave her there. So yeah, I think, do you have an amount of people that you've, because who else refers to you actually? I'll ask that question. Who else have you got? There was some other people named in the article, wasn't there?
Salvation Army refer to us, Children's Services, whether that's Wokingham Borough Council, Ambleside Centre in Woodley. I mean, the other thing that's changed during COVID-19 is we now give individual grants to anyone in Wokingham Borough. We were made aware very early on that some of the other local grant giving charities have not been able to operate in the current time. So we took the decision to actually help people outside our original area of benefit just during COVID-19. And there is that is going to continue. We're going to continue offering our individual grants to the whole of the borough.
Which is great, because again, I know through some of our cases we would then have to, because you had, was it 4 parishes or 3 parishes?
Yeah, it was quite complicated. You had to do a postcode check.
Yeah. And we were having to do that each time we.
It wasn't easy for anyone to understand or for us to administer. It's much easier to work out if you live in Wokingham Borough.
I was going to ask you a question, but you'll be answering my question, but I think we'll do it anyway. How do people get support from you? So let's say that they're in need at the moment. They do need something like a cooker or a microwave or something because they're in urgent need. How are they going to be able to access that?
So they cannot come directly to us. They've got to come through a professional referrer. So at the moment, most of them are coming from you. But if they've got a social worker, it could be if they've got close contact with someone in a local church, anyone who actually can vouch for their personal circumstances, really. But ideally, the one front door is the best route, because we then assure that they're not just solving that immediate problem with a cooker or a washing machine, that they're actually then getting other help, by making sure they get all the benefits they're entitled to, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah. So that's definitely really important, because with being open, I'll bring up Jan now in a moment. When we operate through one front door, that's absolutely the plan. So whenever we refer someone to the food bank or yourselves or anywhere else for that immediate support, we will always look to offer that further support to just make sure that person has as much income as we can find for them, help them out with any debt problems that they've got. And we also review other circumstances as well. Quite often we have someone come in for things like a food bank voucher or an emergency request to you, where actually it's led to them, we've looked at their employment circumstances, and actually they've faced the problem there, where we've helped them through a tribunal or through that process of challenging their ex-employer. So it's always useful to get in touch with us. I'm going to put our websites up just in a second as well. So you've got Wokingham United Charities up here, and we'll put that up at the end as well, which is wokinghamunitedcharities.org.uk. And Citizens Advice Wokingham is similar, citizensadvicewokingham.org.uk. But so we'll put that at the end of this live stream as well. But on that, certainly on our website, there's details of how to get in touch with us. At the moment, it's Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a referral form on our website as well that people can fill in, so please do that as well. And as Tracey's explained, it's pretty quick. So we have had people who've contacted us on the Monday, and we've gone through all that process, and they have either had a sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, or obviously depending on when the grants are able to be agreed, very shortly after that. Let me bring up Jan's comment. The Salvation Army regularly receive grants to help its clients from this fantastic charity. We're so grateful for the quick response which is needed when dealing with most vulnerable people. Thank you, Wokingham United Charities. You make the world of difference to so many Wokingham residents. I'm sure you'll have that up on your website soon enough.
Yeah, we'll quote that one. Thank you, Jan.
Which is great. So obviously, clearly got a great reputation in the borough. You're helping some of the most vulnerable people as well, which obviously is really, really important. So certainly we're all grateful for all of the work that you are doing. And certainly that expansion of to the borough to make sure that we can support as many vulnerable people across the borough is just really, really useful, because obviously otherwise we'd have had to be seeking other forms of support for them, and quite often that's not always available. So hopefully,
is it worth mentioning as well? I think we're well known for things like grants for washing machines and the white goods and beds and that sort of thing. The other thing we've been doing a lot of recently is providing Chromebooks and laptops for children who are unable to do their schoolwork at home. Might be that there's 5 children in the family and only 1 laptop, or there's 5 children trying to use their mum's phone to do their homework. And the other thing we can also do, whilst we don't pay off debts, we will pay debt associated costs. So if somebody needs a passport so that they can prove their ID, or a debt relief order, we will pay the fee. So I think not many people are aware that we can offer that as a service as well.
But again, I said that hopefully would come through the one front door, particularly because we'd hopefully then know, because you've come along and done a training session, haven't you, on our team meetings? You did that. I don't even know how many weeks ago anymore. But
no, I don't either.
I thought it was about 5 weeks ago. And
it's all
we came along and spoke to our volunteers, which was much appreciated as well. But then obviously through our questions that we ask people and the prompts that we have as well, hopefully we'll be able to identify that. I'm just going to ask if there's any more questions for Tracey or I before we start to wrap up. But do you want to just quickly explain? So you do run almshouses as well?
Yes. Yeah, we've got 27 flats, predominantly for people of retirement age. And our criteria is people who can't afford to rent or buy in Wokingham, which is most people. Yeah. That's
a key part of the charity, though, isn't it, in terms of the work you've got?
Yeah, I mean, it's 50% of my job. So when I'm not doing 400% more grants, I'm dealing with the almshouses.
Okay, great. There we go. It doesn't look like we've got any more questions, so we will wrap up, and we'll put our website address details on the end of this comment. But Tracey, this was, as you know, very last minute. I think we decided
an experiment
an hour ago that we were going to try this out, but I think it seems to have worked quite well, and we've had a few viewers, and we'll keep this up on our page as well for people afterwards. So thank you for coming along. Do you have anything else that you want to ask? Have your star moment on our Facebook page?
No, thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, well, hopefully we'll speak again soon on here, because I think it'll be good to have an update as we start to go through the recovery phase about the next steps for both of our organisations. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.